Hello, Stoics. Right now there is someone studying every step you take, waiting for you to slip. But it's not who you might expect. It's you. You've turned against yourself, acting like you're on stage for people who don't even care, chasing approval from strangers who forgot you the moment they walked away. This is the hidden truth about the world we live in now. We've made our lives into a non-stop show where the clapping never comes, yet we keep pretending. We post, we talk. We explain ourselves to people online who wouldn't bother to help us if we were in real trouble. And while doing this, we've let go of the one treasure that matters most, ourselves. The old Stoic teachers had a word for this, prosos. It meant paying attention to the present and taking care of yourself. But here's the surprising part. They practiced it in silence. Marcus Aurelius, the strongest man in Rome, could have demanded attention from millions. But instead, he poured his thoughts into a private notebook that no one else was meant to read. Seneca, one of the richest men in the empire, often chose to live simply and quietly on purpose. Epictetus, who was born a slave but later became a great teacher, built his whole way of living on one idea: control the things you can, let go of everything else. These men weren't hiding from the world. They stood at the very top of it. Yet they understood something most of us have forgotten. Silence multiplies your strength. That's why today I'm sharing 7 ancient lessons that will help you focus on your own growth until the opinions of others fade into the background. This isn't about running away from people. It's about becoming so steady inside that nothing can shake you. Once you learn these lessons, it's not only the way others see you that will change. You'll discover a version of yourself you never thought you could be. But here's the challenge. Most people will watch this, nod their heads, maybe even write things down, and then return to chasing likes online. The difference between them and you is one choice. Are you really ready to use what you've learned? If yes, show it now. Press that like button, not for me, but as a promise to yourself that you're serious about this change. And if this message speaks to you deeply, if you're done living for everyone else, write these words in the comments. I choose silence over noise. These 7 lessons follow a clear order. Miss one, and the others won't hold. Skip ahead, and the base will be missing. Each step builds on the last, forming a chain of strength and control that the Stoics once called the discipline of desire. Number 1. Cut off the noise. Every morning, just a few minutes after your eyes open, you face a choice that decides if you'll guide your day or if your day will guide you. The tricky part is that you often don't even notice you're making this choice. You grab your phone, glance at the alerts, soak up someone else's stress, someone else's show-off post, someone else's panic that somehow becomes your own weight to carry. And just like that, before your first sip of coffee, you've already given food to the beast. What is this beast? It's the non-stop crushing roar of other people's judgments, demands, expectations, and messy emotions. It feeds on your focus, grows stronger when you react, and asks for more every time you give in. Right now, it's probably steering your life. You see someone's victory online and instantly question your own progress. You hear one small insult and spend hours replaying it in your head, defending yourself to a person who stopped thinking about you 5 minutes later. You take in scary news as if you're personally responsible for carrying the weight of the whole world's fears. But Epictetus, a man who lived 2,000 years ago and once was a slave, knew something we've nearly forgotten. True wealth doesn't come from owning a mountain of things. It comes from needing very little. He wasn't only talking about money, he was also talking about mental wealth, the freedom of being careful about what you allow into your mind. The Stoics believed that your thoughts shape your world, so they protected their thoughts like priceless treasure. Here's what you can do right now to start starving the noise. Sacred morning hour. The first hour after waking up belongs to you, fully and completely. No scrolling, no headlines, no one else's problems, only your mind, your goals, your calm. This isn't a fancy extra, it's survival, opinion fasting. When someone gives you unwanted advice about how to live, use what I call the water through a net trick. Let it slip right through you. Smile, nod, and keep moving. You don't have to hold on to every opinion tossed your way. Defend nothing. Stop justifying your decisions to people who don't pay your bills or sleep under your roof. Your choices belong to you, and you alone. The day you quit defending your life is the day you finally begin to live it. When you stop feeding the noise, something powerful happens. You start to hear your own voice again. You realize what you actually want, instead of chasing what everyone else says you should want. Your thoughts become more exciting than anyone else's drama. You stop being tossed around like a ball by other people's moods. You grow steady, not because you turn cold, but because you stand firm in your own truth. Right now, pick one source of noise in your life. Maybe it's that news app buzzing all the time. Maybe it's the person who always has something negative to say about you. Maybe it's the social media account that makes you feel like you're never enough. Cut it off today. Refuse to give it your attention. Watch how much space and freedom that creates in your mind for the things that actually count, your growth, your peace, and the life that is truly yours. Number 2. Watch, don't react. Imagine this moment. Someone says something that gets under your skin. In seconds, you answer back, your hands type before your mind has even caught up. Then later, maybe after minutes, maybe after hours, you notice that your quick reply only made things worse. Sound familiar? We've trained ourselves to react to everything. We react to news, to posts online, to someone's bad mood, to traffic, to weather, even to old memories we can't change. Life becomes one long chain of reactions to everything, except the path we actually want to follow. But here's the wisdom the Stoics knew that we've forgotten. Between what happens and how you answer, there is a pause. In that pause is the strength to choose. That choice, not the event itself, decides the quality of your life. Epictetus, who lived through pain and hardship, said clearly, "It's not the event, but your reaction that matters." Easy to say, much harder when a driver cuts you off, when your boss sends a sharp email, or when a friend bails on you at the last minute. Yet this is exactly where your real power is built. Not in the rare dramatic scenes, but in the tiny everyday moments when you choose to observe instead of instantly react. Watching instead of reacting doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting with purpose. It means giving yourself space between the trigger and your reply. It means seeing that your first emotional surge is a signal, not an order. Think about the last time someone's words lit a fire in you. Your first instinct was probably to argue, correct them, or make them agree with you. But what if you had simply watched? What if you had noticed your feelings with curiosity instead of instantly following them? You would have found that your strong reaction came more from what was already going on inside you than from their words. Maybe you were already stressed, insecure about the topic, or upset from something else. Their words were just the match. The fire was already waiting. When you practice watching, you start to see patterns. You notice you always get defensive when people question your choices. You see that anger rises when you feel misunderstood, but anger never makes people understand you more. In fact, your reactions often create the very outcome you didn't want. But here's the gift of watching. It opens up options. Reacting leaves you only one path, whatever your feelings demand right then. Watching lets you ask better questions. What do I really want here? Will this choice move me closer to that goal or push me further away? Is this worth my energy? Reaction is driven by old wounds. Response is guided by wisdom. Reaction only sees the moment. Response sees the bigger picture. Reaction says, "How do I stop hurting right now?" Response asks, "What's the most helpful action here?" Practicing response looks like pausing before you send that text, taking a few slow breaths before answering criticism, or asking yourself, "Is this even true? Does it even matter?" before letting someone's mood wreck your day. Start to watch yourself like you'd watch a documentary you find fascinating. When you notice you're triggered, don't beat yourself up. Get curious. Say, "Interesting, I'm having a strong reaction here. Why is that?" This kind of self-observation puts you back in control of your feelings. The people who look unshakable aren't those who never feel anger, pain, or frustration. They're the ones who've learned to notice their emotions without being ruled by them. They still feel the sting, but they don't hand over the steering wheel. When you master this, something amazing happens. Other people's storms don't become your storms. Their panic doesn't become your emergency. Their bad day doesn't destroy your good mood. You turn into something like a mountain, aware of the changing weather, but steady, unmoved. Starting now, the next time you feel that quick wave of reaction, whether it's irritation, anger, or even overexcitement, pause. Watch it. Notice where it shows up in your body. Observe your thoughts without acting right away. Then, from that calm space, decide your response. And if you're enjoying the content, consider becoming a channel member. Besides helping the channel, you'll also get exclusive content. Click the link in the description and become a member now. Back to the content. Number 3. Move like nobody's watching. Right now in your mind, there's a crowd that isn't real. They sit there, judging every choice you make, every risk you think about, every honest impulse you feel. And here's the surprising truth. Most of those judges aren't even real. Think of that moment when you're ready to do something brave, start a project, change your style, chase a dream, and then suddenly you freeze. Not because you can't do it, but because of the heavy feeling of fake eyes staring at you, waiting for you to fail. Here's what will free you. The people you imagine always judging you are too caught up in their own worries to spend much time on yours. You've been acting like you're the main character in everyone else's story, but the truth is, you barely show up as an extra in their thoughts. We've trapped ourselves in performances no one even asked for. Seneca, who was wealthy and gave advice to emperors, understood this well. He said every new beginning comes from another beginning's end. And he knew something most people still don't. Many never experience their new chapter because they're too afraid to stop performing for others. The Stoics called it authentic action, choices made from your real self, not from fear of being judged. But here's the twist. The harshest judge isn't other people, it's you. You've become your own critic, your own wall, your own guard. You've collected so many voices, so many expectations, so many shoulds, that you can't even tell the difference between what you truly want and what you're just afraid of. Here's how to break out, starting now. Reality check practice. When that thought pops up, what will people think? Ask yourself, which people exactly? And why should their opinion matter more than me being true to myself? Most of the time, you'll see you can't even name these mystery judges. Next, the authentic action test. Before you decide anything, ask, am I doing this because it feels true to me, or because I want to control how someone else reacts? If it's the second, shift course immediately. Start with small acts. Build bravery step by step. Sign up for that class you've been secretly wanting. Wear the outfit that makes you feel alive, even if it's not your usual. Speak your thoughts in a meeting instead of staying quiet. Every small, real action strengthens your courage for bigger ones. And here's the amazing twist. When you move like nobody's watching, people actually notice. But this time, it's for the right reason. Authenticity shines. When others see someone living from their core, making decisions without begging for approval, it gives them permission to do the same. You don't just find your own freedom, you become a spark of freedom for others too. Yes, some people might complain about your real choices. That's fine. Their discomfort with your truth is their challenge, not yours. You don't have to carry their reactions. The saddest thing would be to reach the end of your life and realize you spent it performing for an audience that wasn't even paying attention. If you're ready to stop living for invisible judges and begin living from your true self, write this in the comments. I live my life from my authentic center. It's not just a sentence, it's your declaration of freedom from the prison of other people's expectations. Number 4, destroy the echo chamber. Right now, you're living inside a bubble. That's not an insult, we all are. The scary part is most people don't realize their bubble exists until it's too late. Too late because they've made huge life choices with only half the truth. Too late because they've missed chances that could have changed everything, simply because they only listened to voices that sounded just like their own. Your echo chamber goes beyond politics or opinions. It's the friends who always agree with your complaints but never push you to grow. It's the apps and algorithms feeding you content that repeats what you already believe. It's the routine so cozy that you stop asking if you're actually growing or just standing still in a fancier way. Here's a thought that might shock you. Socrates, known as the wisest man in Athens, built his whole way of thinking around one daring idea: the only real wisdom is knowing you know nothing. While others bragged about having all the answers, he was the only one bold enough to admit he might be wrong. That humility made him the wisest in the room. Your echo chamber does the opposite. It tricks you into feeling smart while keeping you unaware. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If everyone around you always agrees with you, one of two things is happening. Either your circle doesn't feel safe telling you the truth, or you've chosen people who will never challenge you to become better than you are today. Comfort is the enemy of growth. When everyone around you thinks alike, acts alike, and wants the same things, you stop evolving. You don't discover who you could be, you just polish the person you already are. Breaking the echo chamber doesn't mean searching for fights or surrounding yourself with people who tear you down. It means purposefully letting yourself hear new perspectives that make you think, not just nod along. Here's where most people go wrong. They think different perspectives means shouting at strangers online. That's not learning. That's just entertainment. Real growth comes from honest engagement with ideas, from people who can teach you something you didn't even know you needed. Check your mental diet right now. What books are you picking up? What podcasts are filling your ears? What conversations are you having? Whose advice are you following? If everything you consume only echoes what you already think, you're not learning. You're just looping. And looping without progress is fancy stagnation. Ask yourself, are you listening to people who have already reached the places you want to go, or to people stuck in the same traps you're trying to escape? Are you learning from those who solved problems you're facing, or from people who still have no answers? The most successful people didn't climb high by surrounding themselves with clones of their own thinking. They searched for mentors who challenged them, read books that stretched their minds, and placed themselves in rooms where they were the least experienced person there. This also means silencing the old voices in your head that keep repeating the same limits. You can't do this. You've never done it before. Play it safe. You've always done that. You're not ready. You don't feel confident yet. Replace those tired lines with better questions. What would someone who already has what I want do in this moment? What would I try if failure wasn't possible? What chances am I blind to because I'm stuck seeing through the same lens? When you shatter the echo chamber, you find out something powerful. You're stronger than you thought. Your ideas can handle being tested. Your choices can stand up to questions. And when they can't, you learn to make better ones. The world needs people who think for themselves, who see problems from many sides, who can connect different views instead of just defending one. But you can't become that person while trapped in a bubble that only reflects your own face back at you. So right now, pick one place where you've been too comfortable. Maybe it's adding a book by someone who sees the world completely differently than you. Maybe it's having a real talk with someone from another background. Maybe it's questioning one belief you've never dared to examine. That's how you start breaking free. Number 5, walk away from clout. Let me tell you about the most dangerous habit of our time. It's not a drug you smoke or inject. It's something you refresh, scroll through, and measure in likes, comments, and shares. It's clout, and it's wrecking more dreams than any substance ever could. Right now, plenty of people spend more time writing the perfect post about their goals than actually working on them. Business owners care more about building their image than building their company. Artists spend hours making content about their art instead of making real art. And the saddest part? Most don't even notice they've traded the real thing for a show. Clout is tempting because it gives the feeling of progress without the reality of progress. You post your morning routine and get praised as if you're disciplined. You share a quote and feel wise. You record your gym workout and feel strong. But looking like you're doing something and actually doing it are worlds apart. The Roman thinker Seneca warned about this thousands of years ago. He said it's shameful to grow tired of the search for excellence when the thing we're chasing is so important. When you care more about looking excellent than becoming excellent, you've already lost the game. Here's the harsh truth. Clout is rigged. The platforms decide what's visible. The algorithms decide what gets pushed. The crowd decides what gets praised. You hand your sense of success over to systems and strangers who don't know your goals, your values, or what success even means to you. When you chase clout, you start choosing what looks good instead of what is good. You pick workouts that look flashy in photos instead of ones that actually make you healthier. You accept projects that sound great in your bio instead of ones that build real skills. You share struggles that get attention instead of working through the ones that could change your life. We've been tricked into thinking that if something isn't posted, it didn't happen. But here's the freeing truth. The unseen moments are often the ones that matter most. The book you read without posting still shaped your mind. The insight you didn't share still shifted your life. The growth that happened in silence still counts. Walking away from clout means building your own scoreboard. It means measuring success by how you feel when you go to bed at night, not by how many hearts or thumbs you collected that day. It means developing skills that excite you, building relationships that fulfill you, and living through experiences that change you, whether anyone else knows about them or not. This doesn't mean you should never share your life or work. It means you share from honesty, not from a hunger for validation. The work comes first, the sharing comes after. You create something real and sometimes let people see it, instead of building a mask and begging others to believe it's real. Many of the most successful people you'll never hear about turned away from clout long ago. They spent their time creating, not broadcasting, learning, not bragging, building, not polishing an image. They made mistakes in private, celebrated wins in private, and stepped into public only when they had something real to give. When you turn your back on clout, you find something amazing. You become more interesting when you stop trying to look interesting. You succeed more when you stop pretending you've already succeeded. You feel more confident when you're not begging for confidence from strangers. The energy you once wasted on managing your image can now be used to actually become the person you've been pretending to be. So right now, choose one area where you've been chasing clout instead of substance. Maybe it's your fitness, your business, your friendships, or your learning. Ask yourself, what would I do if no one was watching? What goals would I chase if I couldn't post about them? What changes would I make if I measured progress only by my own standards? Do that. Build in private. Grow in silence. Let your results shout louder than any post ever could. But there's a catch. If you've been trying for a long time to break out of conformity and ignorance and can't seem to get there, it might be for other reasons, and you don't know what's causing it. But I know what it is. It's anxiety. Anxiety comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you even realizing it. It leaves you infected for days, months, and even years, and if you have it, it would be like living sick. However, there is an antidote from the Stoics, which, together with modern psychology, can free you from all this, just as it freed me. I made a video showing how you can rid yourself of this poison in your life. It's in the first comment. Click the link in the first comment and cure yourself of this anxiety poison. Number 6, protect your energy like treasure. Here's a truth that will change how you see your life. Your energy is like money, and right now, you're probably handing it out for free to people who would never spend the same on you. Each morning, you wake up with only a limited amount of mental, emotional, and physical strength. Imagine you have $100 in your pocket. The real question is, how are you spending it? Are you using it on people and actions that make you stronger, or are you letting it leak away on things that leave you tired and drained? Pause and check yourself. How much of your precious energy is wasted on worrying about things you can't control? On people who always take but never give? On scrolling through content that makes you feel worse about yourself? On talks that go nowhere, events you don't care about, or drama that was never yours to begin with? If that stings a little, good. That sting is your inner voice telling you it's time to change. Marcus Aurelius, who could have scattered his focus across an entire empire, once said, "Stay in the present." Not because yesterday or tomorrow don't matter, but because pouring your energy into the past, the future, or other people's problems leaves you weaker in the one place you can act right now. The Stoics knew that managing your energy is really managing your life. When you treat your energy as limited and valuable, every choice becomes sharper. Keeping your energy expensive isn't selfish, it's smart. You realize that to show up fully for what truly matters, you can't keep showing up halfway for everything else, And this starts with the clean no. Not the sorry, over-explained no, but the firm boundary. No, I can't do that project. No, I won't attend that event. No, I don't want to talk about this. Full stop. No extra excuses. Most people get this wrong. They think protecting your energy means being cold or uncaring. But it's actually the opposite. When you choose carefully where to put your focus, you can give your whole self to what matters most. Instead of being half distracted in 10 conversations, you're fully alive in 2 deep ones. Think about the people who are calm, focused, and really listening when you speak. They're not the ones saying yes to everything. They're the ones who have learned how to spend their energy wisely. Here's your guide for investing your energy, the value filter. Before you commit, ask, will this bring real value to my life or to people I care about? If it's not a strong yes, then it's a no. Next, the motivation check. Am I doing this out of fear, guilt, or pressure, or because it truly connects with my values and interests? And finally, the opportunity cost. Is this the best way to spend my energy right now, or am I just filling space? When you keep your energy expensive, amazing things happen. People respect it more. When you're not always available, your time becomes special. When you don't waste yourself on every drama, your words carry weight. When you choose your battles, your support means more. Your family and friends get the best you because you didn't give your best away to energy vampires and endless scrolling. The world will try to tell you that being generous means saying yes to everyone. But real generosity is smart. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you treat your energy as sacred, you make sure there's always enough to give when it matters most. Right now, find one place where you've been giving your energy too cheaply. Maybe it's that toxic group chat, that friend who always complains but never listens, that late-night doom-scrolling habit that leaves you emptier. Cut it today. Put that energy back into something that helps you grow. And if you're ready to start guarding your energy like the treasure it is, say it out loud or write it down. My energy is precious and I invest it wisely. That's your promise to yourself. That's you becoming the CEO of your own energy bank. Number 7, guard your comeback. Here's something people almost never mention. Right now, while you're caught up in what others think, distracted by noise and chasing likes and approval, life is secretly getting you ready. The difficulties you're facing, the problems you're working through, the quiet moments when nobody's looking, these are all pieces of your comeback story. But here's the twist. You can't build a real comeback if you're always giving away the script. You can't create something amazing if the whole world knows every detail of how you're making it. And you can't shock people with your transformation if you post every single step along the way. Your comeback isn't just about bouncing back from failure. It's about who you're becoming in the hidden hours when no one sees. It's the abilities you sharpen in silence, the strength you build when you're alone, the dreams you protect, away from the noise of what others expect. Marcus Aurelius, one of the wisest emperors, wrote his most powerful thoughts in a private journal. He never meant for others to read it. He once said, "Stop wasting time debating what a good person should be. Be one." He knew that the most important work doesn't happen on stage. It happens when no one is watching, when you hold yourself accountable in private. Right now, you have a chance that most people throw away. The chance to completely rebuild yourself while the crowd isn't paying attention. While they're busy showing off their lives online, you can be busy creating a life that's actually worth living. While they're chasing the look of progress, you can be growing for real. Protecting your comeback means protecting the space where the true transformation takes place. It means not posting every idea you have, not showing every little change, not asking for applause for each step. It means being okay with the gap between who you are becoming and who people currently think you are. This is sacred work. The late nights where you're learning new things, the early mornings when you're building habits, the moments you pick growth over comfort, these are not meant to be content for social media. They are the bricks of your future self. But guarding your comeback isn't only about privacy. It's also about protecting your drive. Every time you tell the world your goals, your brain feels like it already achieved something. Every time you explain your process, your motivation leaks out. The more you share the process, the less energy you have to finish it. Every time you look for applause for your progress, you end up leaning on other people's approval instead of your own inner drive. Think about the biggest changes you've seen: the person who quietly dropped 50 pounds, the friend who picked up a new language, the co-worker who turned a small side hustle into their main job. I doubt they told the world every step. They worked quietly, and then they showed up completely changed. That's the strength of guarding your comeback story. It doesn't mean you have to be sneaky or fake. It means you choose wisely. You share your journey with people who truly care about your growth, not with random onlookers who only want to watch. You talk about your plans with mentors who can guide you, not with just anyone who will listen. Your comeback story is being written right now, in this very moment, with the choice you make after finishing this. Will you keep living for the crowd, or will you start building for your own future? Will you keep acting out a life, or will you finally live it? The best comeback moments happen when no one sees them coming. It's when you've been quiet, when you've been putting in the work, when you've been building something in the background while others assumed you were standing still. That's the moment you don't just reveal what you did, but who you've become. Your comeback story isn't about showing others anything. It's about proving to yourself that you can stay on the path of growth without the cheers, that you can keep your focus even when it's not exciting, that you can finally become the version of yourself you always believed in. The world is full of noise. Your comeback should stay quiet until the day it's ready to roar. If you're ready to stop giving away your story and start shaping it in the silence of your own effort, write this down. I am creating my comeback story in silence. That's your promise to yourself, to build something real while the world chases things that don't matter. So here we are at the end of 7 rules, but truly at the start of something much bigger, your choice about how you'll live from this day forward. We've gone through starving the noise, moving like nobody's watching, protecting your energy, breaking out of echo chambers, watching without reacting, turning your back on clout, and protecting your comeback story. But all of these lead to one deep truth. The most powerful thing you can do in this loud, chaotic, attention-hungry world is to look within and focus on becoming who you were meant to be. When you live by these 7 rules, you don't just change how you deal with the world, you change how the world treats you. People begin respecting your boundaries because you respect them first. They begin valuing your time because you value it. They begin to see you as strong and steady because that's who you've become. But most of all, you begin respecting yourself. You stop chasing outside approval because you've built it inside. You stop waiting for permission because you've learned to give it to yourself. You stop wishing for someone else to believe in your dreams because you've become your own loudest supporter. This path isn't easy, and it won't be quick. In a world that offers shortcuts and instant results, choosing the slower road of inner growth can feel tough. But that's exactly why it's powerful. While others chase the next quick thrill, the next viral hit, the next shallow high, you're building something no one can take away from you, an inner strength that can't be shaken. Start now. Pick one rule that touched you most and begin living it today. Don't wait for Monday, next month, or the right moment. The right time is now. If this helped you see yourself or your life differently, tap that like button, share this with someone who needs it. Leave a comment about which rule spoke to you, and subscribe. We're building something meaningful here, a group of people who choose growth over noise, depth over show, and peace over chaos. The world needs more people who focus inward, not out of selfishness, but out of wisdom. Because when you're grounded and clear about who you are and where you're going, you don't just lift your own life, you become a safe harbor and a steady force for those around you. Your journey toward unshakable strength starts today. This isn't the end of a message, this is the beginning of your transformation.